I got blues in the morning. I got blues on my mind. But if it wasn't for bad luck and trouble, I'd have nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I'd have almost nothing on my mind. I just got back from a 6-week American tour with John Mayall, and during which time he decided to sort of end that particular version of his group, and he just called me up about 3 weeks after I got back from the tour and said, Mick, I got a phone call from Mick Jagger, and I think they need a guitar player to do some session work because they're over at Olympic Studios finishing Let It Bleed, and I think you might get a phone call. So I got a phone call from Mick and was invited down to do some recording, I thought. And so I did go down there and played on Honky Tonk Women and Live With Me from Let It Bleed. And they sort of more or less asked me to join them. They needed to really get their career back on track because they hadn't really done much for a couple of years and were actually in danger of splitting up. So they needed to find a guitar player desperately. And actually, we signed a new recording deal with Atlantic Records for 5 or 6 albums. And so I never saw it as a lifetime thing. No, never. But I didn't really look that too far into the future. I just saw it as a great opportunity to make some money and have some fun. It really was fun. It wasn't always fun though, you know. I mean, towards the end of the period I was with them, for me it was definitely not fun. The whole thing to me was becoming jaded and decadent, and they seem to have lost their direction, and I think a lot of that had to do with Mick and Keith not really working together as songwriters. I mean, the songs still said Jagger Richards, but they weren't really written like that. I mean, some of the songs I helped write, a few anyway. And, you know, as is well known, you know, now, that period was probably one of their most productive and creative. We made some great albums. But like I said, towards the end of the period I was with them, I think I got, for whatever reason, disillusioned with it a little bit and a little bit bored. And being the sort of a very impulsive type of person I was and still am a little bit, I just thought, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, it really wasn't a big deal to me, leaving the Stones.
No big deal there for Mick Taylor. That's it for part 2. Don't forget to join us after the break for Katrina and the Waves and